Welcome students. Today we have studied online class for subject physics, chapter number 15, structure of atom and nuclei. In yesterday we have seen limitations of Bohr's model and the de Broglie's hypothesis, that is lambda equal to h upon p, where p is momentum, linear momentum, that is mass into velocity. This wavelength of microscopic object are about -10 raised to -34 meter, which is very small, which cannot be measured, and we do not feel their existence. But wavelength of subatomic particles like electron is significant. So we can measure by using de Broglie's hypothesis. We know that de Broglie suggests that instead of orbiting the electron inside the atom or as a particle, so lambda is equal to h upon p, where p is linear momentum. Every moving particle is associated with a wave of wavelength. Every moving particle is associated with a wave of wavelength. Such waves are called as matter waves or standing waves. So here standing waves are similar to wave in a string. When string is plucked, wave is generated. This wave is in the form of transverse wave. So standing waves are similar to wave in a string or waves in a pipe using fluid. When air is blown, waves are generated. These waves are similar, or standing waves are similar to waves which are produced in pipe. So what happens? Length of orbit of an electron has to be integral multiple of wavelength. Means length of orbit of electron means one orbit, it is integral multiple of wavelength. So that for first orbit, length is equal to de Broglie's wavelength lambda. But for second orbit, length is equal to twice that of de Broglie's wavelength or double. So that for circular orbit, the length is equal to circumference of circle. We know that circumference of circle, that is twice pi r. So for nth orbit, similarly for first orbit, that is wavelength lambda. For second orbit, it will be twice the de Broglie's wavelength, means 2 lambda. For circular orbit, length is circumference of circle. So for nth orbit, the length will be twice pi rn. What happens? So twice pi rn is equal to n times lambda n. So lambda n is equal to twice pi Rn divided by n. Suppose this is equation number 1. Using the de Broglie's wavelength, lambda n is equal to h upon Pn. We know that Pn is linear momentum, so h upon m into Cn or h upon m into Vn. Cn is velocity for nth orbit, velocity of light in nth orbit, or Vn is velocity of electron in nth orbit. So here if we substitute this value in equation 1, what happens? H upon mvn is equal to twice pi Rn upon n. So here rearrange the term. M into Vn is multiplied to Rn. So what happens? Nh upon twice pi, and twice pi is in denominator. N is multiplied by h. So Nh upon twice pi is equal to m into Vn into Rn. Nth orbit, radius for nth orbit, velocity of electron for nth orbit. So Nh upon 2 pi is equal to Pn into Rn. We know that Pn is linear momentum, and linear momentum into perpendicular distance, that is angular momentum. So we say that angular momentum of nth orbit is equal to Nh upon 2 pi. Symbolically seen, so angular momentum L n is equal to Nh upon 2 pi. This is the second postulate of Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom. Means using de Broglie's hypothesis, Bohr can prove the postulates which are suggested, that is angular momentum of electron is integral multiple of twice pi, and using de Broglie's hypothesis, theoretically and practically second postulate of Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom will be proved. Here if we can see the standing waves along third orbit, it consists of 3 de Broglie's wavelength, or standing wave of electron wave for the fourth orbit of an electron in an atom. See here, if we carefully see the two diagrams, we are seeing that at center nucleus is there, and circle, see here, this circle, it has radius r, here radius r, and waves are there which are interfere with each other, produce loops. So in third orbit, see here, we can see loops, 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4, 5 and 6. In third orbit, 6 loops are there. So in these 6 loops, the length between 2 loops, that will be lambda, and so that for third orbit it will show that 6 loops. But here in second diagram we have seen atom, electron is rooted in a circular orbit, here. At center, nucleus is there. R is radius. So we can count loops. 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, 4 loop, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Means in fourth orbit 8 loops are produced. Wavelength for 2 loops, distance between successive 2 loops, it will produce as wavelength. So here wavelength is there, and that is the standing waves or matter waves in third orbit, in fourth orbit. In examination, if a question is asked, and this question will be draw standing waves. Draw the standing waves in third orbit or in fourth orbit of an electron in atom. Or another question will be asked, draw a standing wave along third orbit consisting 3 de Broglie's wavelength. Then we can draw 2 types of diagrams. If fourth orbit can be asked, we can draw a label diagram for fourth orbit. But if third orbit question will be asked for third orbit, then you can draw this diagram. But here, if a question is in our mind, if a question is asked second orbit or fifth orbit, then the standing waves of electron or standing electron waves, it will be shown. The loops are 10 for fifth orbit, or loops are 4 for second orbit. For third orbit, loops are 6, and for fourth orbit, loops are 8. So these diagrams can carefully study and carefully drawn, then we can understanding the second postulate of Bohr's theory of hydrogen atom on the de Broglie's hypothesis. Then if we can see another topic, that will be constituent of a nucleus. We know that in atom at center a massive particle or massive part will be there, and that massive part is said to be nucleus. So we want to study about constituents of a nucleus. We have to study that atom has positive charge. Atom, it has positive charge and high density at the center. We know that at center high mass of atom is situated, and this high density at center holds 99.9% of mass of atom, is called as nucleus. In Bohr's theory, at center nucleus is present. Surrounding the nucleus, electron is revolved around the nucleus in a